Good morning, everybody. I'm going to paste the link down below, or actually it'll be to the right, to join and participate in the Hangout. Copying that right now, and it'll also be on the main screen. We'll put that in the showcase. Just flipping over to another tab. And we'll get things started here. So to join the Hangout. Okay, so I pasted in the link to join the Hangout. It should be available here as soon as the main Google Hangout page refreshes. And Priya, who our guest, we have guest Jared. Jared got scheduled for an airplane flight, so Priya's joining. She's rebooting her laptop because we're having some mic problems, so she should be here soon. In the meantime, any of you that are just viewing, you can use the link I just posted to join if you'd like to join and participate. And I'm going to also share it over here on the side in the showcase links. And once Priya's on, we'll get a demo of the new dashboard. And Priya, who our guest, we have guest Jared. Hey, Jack, I just had to mute you. I was getting your audio coming through my laptop speakers and not my headset.
Yeah, I had both your YouTube and this going at the same time.
Okay.
Is it better now?
Yeah, I think on my end, you're coming through my speakers and not my headset. Give me 1 second there.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Jack.
Hi, Steph.
How you guys doing?
No, I just had a meeting with a customer, and everything was working well. Then I got disconnected from their freeconferenceschool.com. Couldn't get back in. I got back in on the regular phone. Then I tried to get a Skype call right after that with 2 other people, and they couldn't hear me no matter what. I'm unplugging the headset, plugging it back in, doing everything else I could. It didn't work. They sent me 2 different freeconferenceschool.coms. I was on their conference calls, and nobody would join. And then they finally had to call me back on my regular phone.
Oh, my God. Technology, huh?
Yeah.
Looks like David's having some troubles with his headset or something. Can you hear us, David? Nope. Don't think he can.
Could be before.
Jack and Stephanie, can you guys hear me?
Now we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I'm not getting any audio this morning. Okay. 1 second.
Hey, Andy. Hey, Matt.
Hello, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Not too bad.
David's having some troubles with his audio. He's trying to work through.
Okay.
There you go. There we go. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yeah, just fine.
Okay, good.
It's like my Google settings went back to the laptop speakers and not the... There we go. All right, I think I'm set. Are you guys set?
All set?
I did it again. Okay, that's better. I can hear you guys now.
Okay,
Test,
good.
test, test. All right,
Test,
so I'm
test,
waiting on
test.
Priya. Priya had to restart her computer. She's having some problems getting her mic to work today, so I do apologize for that. So when she does get here, we will talk about the new developer dashboard for the status updates. So that goes live next week. We figure we'd do a preview this week so everybody can see it and not wait when that comes out for any statuses and outages. So until then, if you guys have any questions or want to ask anything, we can definitely chat about anything else that's on the agenda while we wait for Priya to show up.
I thought today was the marketing one. I guess I was wrong. That's next week, isn't it?
Yes, next week is about apps.com.
Okay, cool.
And the apps.com changes to there. And the following week after that is the Intuit App Connect, which is basically It Does It is being rolled out to the developers to use on the developer site. But it's the new branding of the name is called Intuit App Connect. And then I don't have the dates locked down, but I think I have 3 product managers coming in. I have a product manager probably coming in to talk about QuickBooks inventory from the QuickBooks Online team.
Cool.
A product manager coming in to talk about custom fields, and a product manager coming in to talk about, if you want to call it the Evernote model for QuickBooks Online. So there's a desktop Mac downloadable file for QuickBooks Online that you can run locally on QuickBooks Desktop, but rewind that. You run it on your Mac desktop, but it's accessing QuickBooks Online. And the same thing, there's a Windows client. And so it's kind of like that and that's why I say the Evernote model. It's like a bunch of different clients, but it's all up in the cloud. So, and I'll talk about that a little bit because that's kind of it's kind of a pseudo browser that does some caching. And in theory, your app should be able to work in that browser session too. So that's something it'll be interesting to see a discussion between the developers and product managers for that product, that feature, talk to the other developers. So I do have some other guests kind of lined up to coming down the pipe. And also, I don't know, I tweeted it out yesterday. I know this is interest definitely for some of you guys, inventory. So you can turn on some additional inventory features in QuickBooks Online now. Let me get you that URL to the YouTube video that shows you how to do it.
What types of additional features?
I don't know offhand because I haven't watched the YouTube video.
Okay.
But I know that it adds some additional fields around inventory tracking.
Okay.
So it's kind of in that copy URL, copy link location, paste this in. Hopefully that's the link to the YouTube video via Twitter. I'm also going to put that in the showcase here. So it adds, I don't know all the functionality, but you can, it's through the QuickBooks Labs inside of QuickBooks Online. Yeah, QuickBooks Improved Inventory. So that video gives an overview of all the functionality that was there.
Cool.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just on my list of things to watch. I just haven't watched it yet.
I'm about to put it on my list of things to watch.
I mean,
have you got any links for that?
Like,
have you got any links for the app at all?
A link for the app? You mean like for QuickBooks Online?
As in like the news for what you were saying about the Mac
app
the
inventory,
and the Windows app.
Oh, that I'm not sure where those are at. I can let me Google for those. Okay, so I put the URL in for the new inventory video. Let me see. QuickBooks Online.
That's something to watch when I'm drinking a glass of wine at the end of the day.
QuickBooks Mac desktop clients.
Hey, David, while you're looking at it, can you hear me okay now?
Hey, I can hear you, Priya. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Awesome.
This shows a screenshot of it. I'm going to paste this in this showcase and in the chat. you can kind of see it in the little screenshot, but I'd have to hunt around the page and see where the actual download is for that. And also paste this into the showcase and into the chat. And then we also have a Windows client, but I don't know where that's. Maybe let me just try /win, see what happens. Yeah, nothing yet. But definitely in a couple of weeks we'll have a lot more information on that, Matt, and then we can, that product manager and developer team will come in to be guests. So at this time, Priya's here. Priya, whenever you're ready, let me know, and we'll get you started talking about the new dev dashboard.
I'm ready. We can go now.
Okay. And so you can share in Google just on the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
The second icon down says screen share. You can use that to screen share. Anybody that's just viewing can use the Q&A to ask questions. And any links along the way, Priya, if you want, on the left there's a showcase. If you click that, I will share that to everybody that's getting that YouTube experience of this right now. So if you want to put it, I know that the dashboard's not officially live till next week, so I don't know if we want to release the URL yet or
not yet. Not yet. Yeah.
Not yet. Still polishing. I get it. Okay. So I'm going to go on mute, and if everybody else can mute while Priya demos, she can kind of walk everybody through this, and then when we're done, you guys can ask questions. And if I get any questions through the question module, I'll definitely bring those up, Priya. So I'm going to mute.
Cool. Awesome. So I hope you can all see my screen now. So this is our current status dashboard. So we use this to report about any outages or any issues with our current services that we have. So as you can see, it has a list of services on the left, and then it has the dates and shows that it's been working over a period of time. Okay, so we try to polish this a little bit, make it a little better, and in a week with the next release for Intuit Developer Group, we are going to release a new and improved dashboard that's going to look like this. Okay, so this new page has 3 different components that I'll walk you through. So as you see in the center, now you have all of these components listed here, and the current status is it is operational. But below you will see a list of incidents, and this is still test, so these are not real incidents. You'll see a list of incidents that have happened over the last few days with what time it went down, what time it was resolved, what component was affected, and you have a history of incidents right there. And on the top, you will be able to see a more predominant notification about any active incident. I'll show that to you in a demo in just a minute. But the coolest feature of all of this is the subscribe feature. So you're on the right top, you have the subscribe to updates, and what this allows developers to do is they can actually go in and subscribe via email or SMS, or they can follow us on Twitter, or you also have like RSS feed. So you have these various mechanisms through which you can actually subscribe to notifications.
And before, Priya, we only had RSS, and it was question and Twitter, and that was the only options before.
Yeah, Twitter was,
correct?
Yes, that's right. So Twitter was something that we manually did, whereas now it's automated from this dashboard. It goes out, like we can tweet out right from the dashboard. And of course, in the old dashboard, there was only RSS feeds, as you can see.
Got it. Okay, so now it'll just go out. If I subscribe to all 5 channels, I'm going to get a notification all at the same time. But it's all part of the actual dashboard now, no manual processes.
Right.
Perfect.
You don't want to subscribe to all 5 channels. You subscribe to the one that works best, yeah?
I think Jared testing already has, because I've been getting a lot of emails and stuff. I need to go and modify my preferences on that.
Right, that's right. Yeah, whichever works best for you. So I probably, those are the most important things that I wanted to share about the dashboard itself. And I'll just, one other cool feature about the dashboard is that, so when you subscribe, let's say I put in like a new email address. So this is Priya123@gmail.com. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so when I say subscribe via email, it shows me, okay, here are the list of components. Do you want to subscribe to all the components, or do you just want to subscribe to a subset of the components? So I can say, oh, okay, I just want to know about Payments API. I don't want to know about anything else. So that's a cool thing to do as well. You can subscribe just to a specific component, so you don't get the notifications about the other components at all. So there's lesser noise in your inbox. So you update preferences, and you can always go back and modify. Let's say tomorrow you want to add another one. You can always go back and modify it. That should update it and go back to current status. So whenever there's an outage, just with Payments API, I will get an email to my Priya123@gmail.com account. The other thing is you can also do incident level subscription. So why don't I quickly show you how an incident create. I don't have any active incidents. So
and could you just, Priya, could you kind of define what an incident level is?
sure, yeah. So we basically, this whole dashboard is updated in an automated fashion from our internal notifications. So when we get notified about an incident, we will update the dashboard through code. So that's how it works. So basically, we have various severity levels. So the various statuses that you will see will be dependent on how severe a particular issue is. So let's say apps.com is down for, like, just one specific feature of apps.com is down, or one specific feature of Payments API is down. Then you'd probably see a status of minor outage here. So it would just say Payments API minor outage, and then the notification will say, hey, there is some intermittent issue with Payments API, and it's still being worked on right now. So that's what you would see at the first go. Let's say if the severity is medium, then you would see something like a partial degradation. If the severity is high, then you would probably see a major outage. So in your Payments API, you would see something which says major outage. And then your notification will say, hey, there is a major outage with Payments API. The team is looking into it. We'll let you know once it's fixed. Once we get a notification from our internal teams that the issue is fixed, it'll automatically update the dashboard and say that, hey, the Payments API issue is resolved. And it'll also send a note to you through whatever your subscribe channel is. So those are the kind of the statuses that we have right now. So it's operational, major outage, partial degradation, minor outage. So these could be the various statuses, and these are all triggered off the severity that we know, the severity of the issue itself.
Okay, got it. So if I only want to know about major outages, I can just subscribe to major outages, and then you're going to show us how to subscribe to that.
You would not be able to subscribe to just major outages. So let's
Okay,
say
got it. Okay.
you would be able to subscribe to specific components and specific incidents. So let's say right now there is an active incident. It's a minor outage incident, but you might still want to know about it, right? So if you have customers using Payments API, no matter whether it's a major or a minor, you would still want to know about it. So if there is an active incident on Payments API, you can subscribe to that active incident, which means as and when there are updates to that incident and when it's being resolved, you'll get notifications. So that's the notification at the incident level.
Great.
Okay. So I want to quickly just stop sharing for a second here because I want to make sure I get the stuff ready so that I can show you a demo. So just give me 1 second here. Since this is still test environment, I can do whatever I want. I can put like major outages and test it and not freak out anyone.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if any of you heard my phone ding just now. That was actually a notification because I created a payments outage, like in my test environment.
Can you hold it up and show us the notification?
Sure. Let me just go to that real quick.
All right. All the other notifications I'm sure that you have.
I don't know if you can see well enough right here.
Awesome. Perfect.
Cool. And I'll go back to sharing so that I can
Okay.
show you my screen. Okay. So here, the status dashboard will get refreshed every minute. But here you see that under components, under payments API, I actually had a major outage, high severity payments issue. I try to create that one. And so you see under payments API, it's marked as major outage. So the component status is updated. A new incident gets created. I'll also show you this email that I just got because I'm subscribed to email as well as SMS. So this is the email that I just got saying payments API is currently experiencing issues. And this is the incident report that you got if you're because I'm subscribed through email. And at the top, you see that the incident, the active incident, is predominantly displayed. So you can see it as soon as you get to this dashboard. And you can subscribe to that specific incident. So.
Oh, got it. So if there's something that's affecting me, and I want to find out when that specific incident is resolved, I can just subscribe to that incident. Then once it's resolved, does that subscription just go away? Kind of?
Yes. It's just for that incident. Once it's resolved,
gotcha.
it'll not be there anymore. Yep.
Okay, got it. So that way, instead of, like, for example, in the current world, the developer will tweet at me or text me or send me 5 emails to find out if an incident's been fixed. If they subscribe, they'll get notified as soon as everybody else does. Awesome
right.
Feature. I want to clap for that feature. That's awesome. Great. Oh, that's good to know. Perfect. And just to clarify for everybody that this is still under development. So just as Priya just made a major outage, don't start using this yet because we might push a fake outage and you might panic. So don't use this site until we tell you it's live.
Right.
Payments API does not have a major outage right now.
Yep. It's still in test environment. I'm reminding everyone. This will be live next week, though. So we'll redirect you to this page, and there will be a blog post, and there will be communication out once it's ready to go live.
Okay.
And one other thing that I do want to talk about is that every time we have a scheduled maintenance, if we know that we are doing a release or if there is going to be a downtime, a planned downtime, we will use this dashboard to notify you as well. So what that does is we will create scheduled maintenance requests. So you will when you get to this dashboard, you'll also see, like I think there is an example right here, maybe one that was created a while ago. Okay, so it looks something like this as a this is a service outage. Sorry, I don't think I have. Oh yeah, right here. Okay, so this is how it'll look. So you can see a report of when it's scheduled. Once it's in progress, you might get a notification. Once it's completed, you will get a notification. And this is for planned outages. So that's kind of a cool feature as well. So you can subscribe. If you've subscribed to some of the components and that component is going through does have a planned outage, then you will get notified about it. And there are ways for us to specify that, notify them even like 60 minutes, just 60 minutes before the outage is going to happen, remind everyone that this is going to happen, and once it's completed, send another note. So that kind of a cool feature is there as well. What else do we have? Oh, the other thing I did want to show you is, so you can take a look at the past incidents right here. So let's say a week later, one of your customers comes back and says, last week we had a lot of issues trying to get into apps.com or like trying to use your app for some reason. And you can come back to this dashboard, and because it has a history, you can look to see if there was any outage at that time. So you kind of can relate the two issues. So that having a history of the issues will always be helpful to go back and tie any issues to the outages itself. What else do we have? I think that's pretty much it. Let me go back to the incident history. Oh, one other feature we have here is if you want to go look at the history that way, you can filter by specific components. If you just want to look at QuickBooks API issues, you can filter by component, even if you're looking at history. That is it. Yep. So this. Okay. There were no test QBO outages, so that's fine. All right. Okay, that's about it. Go ahead and stop sharing at this time.
It's excellent, Priya. Thank you very much. It's very, very exciting. I know that this is something that even in the Hangouts every week, for a year and a half, 2 years, people are, when's the dashboard going to be better? Why is this not good on the dashboard? And it's finally here, which is just really amazing. So congratulations. It's amazing. So I'll open up the floor to any questions. As of right now, I don't see any questions coming in externally through the viewers. So any of you that are currently inside the Hangout, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, if you want to ask a question, feel free, and
I have a
Priya
question.
will answer away. Okay.
So the biggest problem with the last dashboard was that it was manually maintained, and so we would experience issues in our app because there was something wrong with the service, and either it wouldn't show up on the dashboard at all, or it would take an hour or more for it to show. And then sometimes we'd have arguments with about whether it ought to show as an issue. Do you know what I mean? If it was kind of a sporadic issue, then Intuit didn't want to show it. But on the dashboard, even though there is the indication on there that says experiencing intermittent issues, and then our subscribers would blame us for the issue because it wouldn't show on the dashboard, if you know what I mean. Because we use that dashboard to back up that it's not our problem. We're experiencing issues with the Intuit service. So anyway, I think I heard you say that when you guys are notified that there's an issue, then you're going to update this dashboard. Is that right? In other words, it's not an automated...
It is automated. So when we are notified, it will automatically update the dashboard as well. So we have our internal teams that will first be aware of such an issue. And when they create, in our internal tool, they will create some kind of a incident, right? But then that's not what will be directly exposed to developers. But then what we have done is we've taken that data and plugged it into this dashboard. So you kind of like don't have very sensitive information, but you have the information about the outage itself. So it's still automated. There's no one going in and putting something in the dashboard at this point. So whenever we are aware of an incident and we create it within our system, it also gets created on the dashboard. So
okay, so that's only if you're aware of it. In other words, if the service goes down and like there's a ping or something and the ping isn't returning, then that won't show on the dashboard.
So that's not built in yet. So we might look at it in a future release, but it's not something that will ping existing services to see if everything is up or down. So that's
okay.
That's something we might do in future, but that's not available.
Okay.
Yet.
Okay. So it's still is based on somebody at Intuit entering something somewhere, not specifically into the dashboard, but maybe into your ticket system or something.
Right.
Okay.
So the moment we do see issues, so the way we'll know of issues is right now when somebody complains, like saying that either developer says that we're not able to get, or we know that when we are monitoring, we do monitor our systems as well. So we have logging and we have some kind of alerts. So those alerts are something that will let us know that there are issues, and we immediately have to enter it into our system. So
Okay.
that's the process that we follow. But so far it's been like, oh, entering it into the dashboard, even though we knew there might be a gap where we were trying to enter it into the dashboard and there was a lag there. But right now, since it's going to be an automated thing, that lag's not going to go. The lag's
Okay.
going to go away.
Okay, well that's an improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that was the biggest problem before 70. So we have things monitoring our servers, right, and alerting like an ops team and that when things are down or when there's a problem or a slowdown, et cetera, like that. But right now, the process to get that out to a developer was like 4 different email sets and a quick base and like a lot of manual process that wasn't automated at all. So then it would always seem like by the time, like on Twitter or something, you would say, hey, was there an outage or something down?
Right.
And you guys would be beating our public communications, even though at the same time, our automatic scans were detecting some stuff. So this is going to streamline that process down. Is it exactly perfect? Is there a chance that you might beat it? It could still happen, but the odds are probably a lot less now.
Right, I get it. Okay, good. Thanks.
Yeah, we get a lot of calls and emails from customers once the any services are down, and it's important for the customers to know when it's down, and hopefully they can find out before we get involved. So is this available to customers or just to developers?
So this is available to everyone. They can go in and subscribe. But then I think the best way this is being used is because we don't want to freak out customers. Like, I don't know if they want to know about every outage that we have. It might not even affect some of the services that you are using, right? So let's say if you're using just customers and vendors in QuickBooks Online, and if we report an outage, which might not even be affecting customers and vendors, but we send that notification to your customers, your actual customers, then it might freak them out. But your app ideally wouldn't be affected at all because of that.
Yeah, but we just spend so much time and money on people saying, hey, your program doesn't work, your app don't work, and it's to find out, after we've done 2-3 hours worth of research that it was an Intuit problem. And we lost credibility. The only way we get credibility is by admitting it's our problem, which it's not.
Yeah, Jack, what I would recommend developers do, and because I think we've talked about this once before, like a lot of you guys don't have status pages of your own yet, right? And so what you could do is set up your own status page for your own app, right, and your own services, and then you can use the RSS feed and put that on there, and so you could basically have your app status on the status dashboard, and then also include the RSS feed for QuickBooks Online, right, or the QuickBooks Online API. So you could basically have a page for your own customers to go to that could actually include some information about the QuickBooks service. So you could actually show them, oh look, my server's up, but QuickBooks is down, and that will help because I know other customers are like, well, I don't believe you. I know how that goes with customers. So that might be a direction to go. Is you can just use the feed from the dashboard and put it on your own page with the feed about your own status.
They never go to the pages. They call up an email first. You have to get out there and train our customers. Well, your customers, too.
I'm trying to train developers not to call when there's an outage and to use the site. So one step at a time, Jack, one step at a time. Okay,
and one thing, I've done multiple different status monitors over the years, and one thing I did always find out is that I can't call 911 if I'm dead. But that's a very important feature. You have to ping it, and if he doesn't get a response or a timely response, there's a problem. No matter what there's going on, I can't call 911 if I'm dead. And that's why I don't have my picture, because somebody from Intuit is going to shoot me one of these days.
Not true, Jack. Yeah, Matt or Andy, or either one of the Matts, I guess, or Andy, do you guys have any questions or comments about the status dashboard?
No, I think it's all looking promising from here.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks promising. You answered my question. I just wanted to know if I could put that feed on my page.
Yeah, it would be interesting because I know. So we're using. Is it status.io? Is that correct, Priya?
It's called statuspage.io.
Okay, got it. So can you, if you build your own page there, can you import other feeds into that, or how to do what tool? I've not actually looked at any tools on that side of this. I've interacted with Status.io a lot from a consumer side, but not the back-end side.
Yeah, you can trigger off like emails, right? So if you get an email, you can basically send it over to your status page if you have one and say, okay, hey, Intuit QuickBooks is down or something like that. But we also, status page IO also supports webhooks, but it's not part of this release yet. That, the one that's next week. Status page IO does support webhooks. So eventually, if we plan to roll it out to our devs, they can use those webhooks to update the status page as well. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Cool.
And I'm just putting a link to statuspage.io in the chat and also on the showcase. I think it would be cool if we could, work with a way with them to allow developers to get some sort of discount into developers and set up their own status pages. I think that would be helpful to a lot of SaaS guys who don't have one yet. And I think we checked out before, I think Zoho has a status page that's fairly decent priced per month. That is another option people have. I think somebody's using it. Stephanie, are you using the Zoho one?
Yeah, I've been playing with it. Here's a link to our status board. Yeah, and it works pretty well. I think I'm paying something like $5 a month or something. You get up to 5 alerts for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And I haven't put it on our website yet. I've just been I have other things, other priorities, but I've just been kind of playing with it myself and watching it, and and then at some point I'll put a link on our websites to that.
Good. I'm sorry, changing screens here. So no questions came in from outside. I don't know if any closing thoughts you have, Priya, and then we can jump into other questions, and you can hang around, Priya, if you want. I kind of committed you, well, Jared committed you for the first hour since he couldn't
Yeah, sure.
make it.
Yeah.
So you can kind of hang around and just observe any other questions that are not around the dashboard that people may have. I'm just going to check one more time on the Q&A panel here and make sure to see if any questions come in from the outside. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I don't have any questions on the dashboard. So from a timing perspective, you think this is sometime next week it goes live?
Yes, it will be available next week. I'm also creating a blog, so there should be a blog, and we'll let everyone know once that's ready.
And then one other thing, can you, you got the link in your text? Maybe show everybody, because I think I've been to the site before. It's also mobile optimized, which is really helpful. Can you maybe possibly pull it up on your phone and just show?
You mean just the text?
Well, when you click on the text, there's a URL in there.
Yeah.
And I think that takes you to the site, but that's the other thing with this. If you guys are not at your home office or your computer, the status dashboard page works really well on mobile.
It's kind of like just the message at this point. So when I clicked on the link, this is what it takes you to. It says.
But if you go back one page, though, I think you can see all the whole.
Oh yeah. If you go back to current status, you can see for everything. So this is
you
like.
have to hold the phone back, just like.
Sure. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Back. Okay. So this is how the page looks on the mobile.
Awesome.
Fine.
That's good. That's good to know, because I mean, I think many times people, you're out and about and you need to know the status.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. Cool.
Awesome. Great. That's really great, Priya. So extend our congratulations to the team. But
sure.
I know it's been a long time coming to get this out the door. Great.
Thank you, Priya. Thanks very much.
Sure.
So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and I'll probably leave the broadcast recording until the top of the hour, and then I'll stop it. But if anybody has any other questions, let's open the floor up to any office hours like any other week at the Google Hangout. That's it. Nothing. Crickets. Nobody has any questions.
I've got a page of questions for next week for the apps.com thing.
To the apps.com team, okay. Do you actually have them written down or typed up?
I have them just
like that.
Little
Let me see. I'm gonna
sticky.
Here, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna try and screenshot that and get that over to them to make sure.
Let me just say, make sure it doesn't say anything bad about Intuit on here. Just a second.
Okay. Let me change and try to do a screen. I know I can do a screen capture.
Okay, I'm not sure it's going to mean anything to you, but here you can.
Yep, keep backing up till it goes in focus. Slowly back up, back up, back up, back up, back up a little bit more. I don't know if this is going to work. It may not work.
Okay, let me just see. I can't see it very well.
But if you send me that, Stephanie, in just a little email with a couple bullets, I'll make sure Ronnie. Oh, that's the problem. Okay.
Yeah.
It's still a little blurry. I can't.
Yeah, yeah.
But
send it to you in an email. That means I have to type the whole thing.
You don't have to go detailed either. They can be little bullets, and I'll just make sure, hey, just be ready to talk about all these things too.
You could take a picture with your phone and email it.
I could do that, Matt.
Yeah.
How about if I mention it to you right now, David, and you write them down because it may prompt other people to have questions.
Okay, let me do that. Let me change screens here. New, I'm just going to go to the invite for those guys and just get this noted 1 second.
Okay.
Reply to all. Oops. Reply to all with email. Yes. Okay. Whenever you're ready, Steph.
Chat on the app card. Ready?
Got it?
QBD App Center apps, you know, the ones that are currently in the App Center, where are they going to go after they disappear from there? Where will they be advertised, quote unquote? You know, on the marketplace, or will there still be a place on App Center for QBD apps?
Okay.
As long as they have their own way to sync up. I mean, obviously, if there are some QBD apps that are, you know, that are abandoning QBD because the sync manager is going away, then obviously they shouldn't continue to be advertised maybe on the App Center. Will there be any in QBD app links to the QBD you know what I mean?
Will there be apps.com apps presented inside of QuickBooks Desktop?
Right. Okay. Will the current QBD App Center apps be listed in the marketplace?
Okay, I have that. I kind of captured that.
Okay, yeah. A lot of people go to the marketplace. Still, after all these years, they still go there. The Google AdWords trademark approval, that is just a cluster, you know what, asterisk. I mean, we still don't have that. We're still, like, our approval is limited on Google AdWords, and it's been weeks. And the thing is, with me trying to figure it out, you know, Intuit tells me one thing, Google tells me something else. Google and Intuit need to be resolving this for me.
Yeah, and we're next door, so I understand.
Oh, that's nice. That's right. And one thing, actually, I'm really glad I read these to you, because the other thing I was going to talk about was reviews. Yesterday, you remember how I told you when a subscriber wants something special from us, sometimes we charge for custom mods.
Okay, yes.
And sometimes what I do is say, well, I'll tell you what, if instead, and this happened just this week, instead, if you'll get 4 of your users to write a review, because these guys have 20 users, if you get 4 of them to write a review and submit a review for us, then we'll do that modification for us. And yesterday, 4 were submitted, and I haven't seen them show up yet, and I haven't gotten any emails about those, and I don't.
So there's a review, and they can talk about the review process a little bit, but I know that there's a third-party company that does those reviews,
Okay.
And then flags them for fraud, et cetera. If you don't see them within about 72 hours, maybe
Okay.
there's a chance, and maybe you need to create a support ticket, and we can investigate that. Maybe there's something that happened. If 4 people all do it from the same IP address, sometimes
Yeah.
they can find fraud.
Yep, that's what I was wondering. I mean, I don't
Give it
know
about
how.
72 hours.
Okay, I will, and then I'll email you, David.
Okay. Or create a ticket. Yeah.
To expand upon that, it would be good to know if a review has been submitted, because of the fact that if you don't know about it, you can't open up a ticket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, and maybe you guys can bring this up with next week, because I mean, I would rather see it err the other way, where all the reviews just get posted, and then they come down if it's fraud or if it's invalid or if it's
Love
spam
that.
or whatever else.
Love that.
Because it used to kind of work that way, and I really never felt like we had a spam problem per se. Like I hardly saw that occur, and part of it is like you kind of have to jump through some hoops to write a review. And so
Yeah,
it kind of
exactly.
comes down, I think, naturally on spam versus like comments on a WordPress blog. Well, that's standard, so you could write a robot to just go to 100,000. I just don't see anybody taking time to invest to write a bot that puts spam in our comment section or our review section. It just seems like it'd be a lot of work by somebody to have to do that. So I mean, and that's something you could bring up. I mean, if that it would be nice if the reviews just posted and then came down if it was there was a specific reason to pull that review down after the fact.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Because I think it would make it easier on my end also, because my end or the Intuit end, because every time you're like, oh, so and so a review, why did the review appear? And then it just eats up our time, right? Because it's a wasted email chain for me to tell you, well, it might be 72 hours, and then it appears. Sometimes it's other stuff, like it's a browser cache issue. It's just weird other reasons it's not, showing up, or it shows up on somebody else's computer, not yours, because the cache isn't refreshed. So.
If they were to post immediately, I mean, we're out there looking at our reviews at least once every couple of weeks, and if we were to see spam, we could bring it to your attention as well, Yeah,
I mean, we have a company that detects all that stuff, so it'd just be better if they just posted them and then take them down.
Right. Well, that's it for me. I think I'm going to take off. Nobody has any other questions or anything, or everybody's just going to breathe.
Well, I will keep breathing, but we're about to undertake on a Windows desktop QuickBooks desktop project. With one particular customer, it's only going to be used for them, and I'm looking for other experiences in this area. They're looking for complete testing automation from the very beginning to to everything. Once you have submitted or committed code for production, that would include the entire container, supporting files, INIs, you name it, so that hey, I finish this piece of code, bang, it goes to an automatic build, it goes to an automatic testing of all the different possibilities, and I'm just looking for some other experience that other people might have in that.
Is this desktop?
Yeah.
Is it desktop app or online? I had a lot. I got very familiar with. I forgot who owns them now, but SilkTest, SILKTEST. I'm not positive who bought them. They're one of those companies that, like, every 3 years seems to get acquired by a bigger company. But I thought that was really good for desktop software testing automation. But with any automation product, my experience, because I mean I kind of did a lot of that before in my QA world, is you have to build a framework. There's a lot of overhead to get an automation started. So to do it just for a one-off project could be, very intensive.
Well, that's what the customer wants.
Okay.
Hopefully the brother partner is a former developer, and he says, I got to have it. And he's trying to do everything in non.NET, which I'm sort of pushing against because it's kind of hard to do everything in Java or PHP with desktop. But, going with a .NET app, C#, trying to do a whole bunch of purchase orders and have that all automated and tested, all the different possibilities, it's sort of a daunting task. Blows my mind, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been involved in things like that many, many moons ago. My other hat, where we had it, it was called the network simulator that IBM had, but it didn't do the complete process. You had to do this. Okay, well now we're going to do testing. But he says, I want to hit a button. It's going to commit this code into production, and now it's going to it's going to tell me if there's any errors or anything. Just a lot of stuff in there.
Got it. Okay, thanks for coming in.
Boy, that's going to be an expensive project, Jack.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, again, the customer's paying for it. That's how we make our money.
So, what about did Intuit ever do any automated testing when? Yeah, see you, Matt, on Lon's call on Tuesday. Drink a pint for me. Did Intuit ever do any automated testing when, with the QBD?
Yes, I basically did nothing but automated tests for QuickBooks Desktop for about 4 years, especially on the payroll side.
So what did you use?
Thousands of sets. Silk test.
Okay, you used the Silk test. Okay, so that's
and it took a long time. We had brought in an expert on it, and he wound up working for Intuit for a few years. I think he's at VMware now, and he helped us build that framework. So you have to capture all of your UI elements, build a framework, and then you have to do every time you change your UI, you got to update your framework.
Oh my God.
So it is a lot of work, but we also moved from having a team of at this time we had a legacy team, right, a regression team that was here in Tucson, and we had about, I think at one time, 19 people manually testing QuickBooks Desktop. And eventually we got to the point where we'd be able to do it in an automated fashion. And so you have you have layers of tests. You kind of have a 10 tests every single day, and then you have a suite of smoke tests that's a little bit bigger that maybe you run twice a week, right? And then you have full regression, but you have to maintain those tests. So there's a big commitment to do an automated quality assurance type thing. And now I'm not totally familiar on how we're handling it with QuickBooks Online, and how we're handling it with even on the developer site itself. I know maybe Priya, I don't know how familiar you are with the actual DevX site, but I know that there's a whole team that does a lot of unit testing, and everything's moved more towards that continuous build process. So the automated tests are kind of part of a developer's job, to begin with when they start building code, that whole continuous deployment lifecycle type thing. But in the desktop days, it was a lot of work. But we also had to, because I think QA, the whole nature of QA is a little different than it used to be. With desktop-based software, you create a CD, it's a one-time shot. So if there was a bug that went out that we had to patch, it cost $1 million to patch QuickBooks, because we'd have to create new CDs.
Yeah.
Just lost his voice.
Yeah, where'd he go? Can't hear you, David. There you are. Nope. Nope.
Maybe your face. Maybe you cut out your face.
Why did I lose audio? Hold on a second.
Oh, now I can hear you.
There you are.
It's like the Bluetooth adapter completely burped or something.
Yeah. Coming in very tinny. Well, I have another question on QBO. There's been so many different versions of QBO coming out, Essentials, Accountant. I just want to make sure they all work with the same APIs that we use with the version 3. Are there any that don't work?
So they all work with the same API. V3 API will work across all of these various editions of QBO, but you'd want to make sure that, say, for example, one specific version of QBO would not support bills. So if the QBO UI does not support bills, the API is not going to work anyways. So as long as the specific QBO version supports a given entity, it'll work through the V3 APIs.
Just going to clarify that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up now. You guys have a great weekend. Priya, thank you for all the information.
Sure. Have a great weekend.
Okay,
Bye,
bye-bye.
Stephanie.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. I'm going to stop the broadcast. We're at the top of the hour here. But now I can't find the stop broadcast link. It's always something with these Google Hangouts.
I have a question, David.
Yeah, jump out, throw it up there, Andy.
On our new product, we want to put 4 QuickBooks Online. Who do we have to go through to get permission to do that, or can we do that?
You want to you like in your on your website you want to say 4 QuickBooks Online.
Right underneath our logo, 4 QuickBooks Online.
That's okay.
That's okay? Okay.
Yeah, so you just have to do 4 QuickBooks Online. So that's right. You just can't. That way it creates a separation of that to that.
All right.
On the developer site, all the guidelines are definitely out there. But that's the gist of it. Is don't modify the logo. Don't create verbiage to make it seem like you're part of Intuit or QuickBooks is part of you. It's just you have to say 4 QuickBooks Online. If you stay with that verbiage, you're usually safe.
All right. Thanks.
I have a question as well.
Yes.
So everybody who uses the sign in with your Intuit login, you know what I'm talking about, that button? They all sort of separate.
Yes.
They all sort of separate their login screen because the button doesn't ever match anybody else's buttons, right? It's sort of a weird button. It's got random sizes, so then you sort of need to match everything to that button. Doesn't scale really well. The image isn't great. I think we have a support ticket in. I haven't heard if there's been any updates in the past day or so about modifying the image on that button a bit so that it actually scales decent.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple different ways people handle that. Like if you go to like Maven, I think Maven Link, they support 20 different logins, right? And so when you're on Maven Link and you go to their login screen, to keep their UI nice, they have kind of or use third-party service, and when you click on that, then you get all the different shapes and size logos, right?
Yeah, yep.
So that's one way people handle it. And the other way is we will let people, like if you go to Expensify.
Okay.
Expensify, for example, if you go to their sign-in screen, they kind of have their own flat style for all 4. And so we will allow you with the sign in with Intuit button, you can skin that and use that in the style that matches your login screen.
Okay.
And that's going to be okay. But the connected QuickBooks button, you have to use the widget. There's no
that's fine.
No way around that inside your app. But on the sign-in screen, yeah, if you have other ones on there, it makes sense. If the only one you have is Intuit, it looks fine. But I get it if you already have you've already taken
Yeah.
in 4 other buttons, you want ours to match the other 4 you've done. That makes sense.
Okay.
Ideally, it would be nice if we could get it to the point in the same way, like a connect to Facebook button. You can change 50 different options when you build your own widget, and so that way you can customize the style through our widget creation page. Unfortunately, I think in the list of priorities, that might not be around out anytime soon. But
Okay.
one day, maybe a developer will, kind of create that as a service, right?
Sounds good. All right. I think I'm going to head out as well.
Okay.
If you haven't seen Kung Fury, you should go look it up.
Can you can you spell that in the chat so people have it?
Yes, it's a slightly NSFW. There's a little bit.
Okay. Then probably don't do that then.
It was kickstarted. It's a 80s kung fu movie. It's got like every single 80s trope in it. It's really good. So
Okay. A little Friday afternoon fun.
Kung Fury. It's only like a half hour. It's the best half hour of my life so far, I think.
Okay.
So, I'll see y'all later.
Awesome. Thanks. All right, so I'm going to stop the broadcast, and we have a nice clean hour up on YouTube here. And it should keep the connection live for all of you guys.